Grab your popcorn, pour your drink of choice, and hit play. This is Pop, Pour, Play,
where we dive into shows you don't want to miss. I'm Kevin.
I'm Nichelle.
And welcome to our podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Pop, Pour, Play. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't seen us before, this is a podcast where we talk about the shows that we love and dive into them. And today we do have a couple shows on the menu that we're going to talk about. And on that menu, we have Jerry Springer, Fights, Camera, Action, the documentary on Netflix. And what else are we talking about?
Severance.
Duh. Okay, but before we dive in, the big old question, what's in your cup?
Yeah, so today I need a little pick-me-up. So I got some Red Bull with a splash of vodka.
Oh, look at you go. I wish I was that fun and adventurous today, but I couldn't join you in that party. But I'm festive in that my water is in a champagne glass.
Well, there you have it.
Let's dive in. I say we talk about Jerry Springer, Fights, Camera, Action. I love a good documentary, and when there's a bunch of shenanigans, I'm here for it. For those of you that might not know, the documentary dives into the chaotic and controversial world of Jerry Springer, the show. If you haven't seen it, there's lots of fighting, drama, and it's just really hyped up. And I think the key here is that the documentary really talks about the show and how it started and how it kind of shaped culture on TV permanently.
Yeah. Did you watch Jerry Springer?
I mean, I like myself some good garbage TV. Not gonna lie. But let's go right into that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Let's confess it.
No shame there.
No shame. But I will say there was some shame watching this.
Yeah. I learned a lot about the behind the scenes. I think I didn't know exactly what went into building the show, and it kind of just showed me how people could be, or you're just human nature as a whole.
Intrigued by watching this train wreck about to happen.
It's kind of like that thing where you just see like two people fighting on the street. You can't help but stop and look. And
right.
I feel like just it being televised just made it so easy for everyone to do it from the comfort of their own home on their couch.
So you know how we do here. In 3 words, how did you feel about this docuseries?
Tune out. Okay, because some secrets are coming out. All right, the adult ones.
I'm gonna just go off the cuff here. Amused.
Okay.
Baffled. And just shocked.
Yeah.
There was a lot there that happened that I was just not ready for.
Okay, we're going to dive into that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my 3, nostalgia, when I would actually see some of these fights. On the TV and was like, what? They're allowing this? Disgust and shame. A little bit because I watched some of it.
I didn't even when did it stop officially airing? I forget where it said, but it was like a long time that the show was running.
Yeah, a lot longer than I thought.
Same. I was very surprised that it was I feel like 20 years. First, before I even kind of give you my hot take, I was shocked that he was a mayor. I had no idea that he had this political career. And I was like, how
of Cincinnati. Mayor of Cincinnati. What?
Not a small town in the middle of nowhere, like a big city. I was shocked. I did not know that. The entire time I was like, how did he end up here and whatever? But my biggest takeaway that I was surprised by, and I think this is just the magic of television, is how produced it was. Right? You know, they talk about, these people, and they invite them onto the show to tell their stories. And obviously they do a lot of fishing for these stories. And I think I was most shocked that they were coaching people, riling them up. So this way they're ready to rumble when they get on stage.
Yeah, I can agree. That was really interesting. And that's what I was disgusted by.
Yeah.
Of course, when I was watching it then, I did not think about them hyping them backstage. And it's not even just backstage.
Like their experience, just like from being picked up at the airport, like the entire thing is produced. They get them drunk, they get to go party, and then they wake them up at 5 in the morning when they're, not in the right mind.
Hungover.
They're reminding them all the bad things that they did just to get them pissed off. Like, what are you going to say on stage when you get out there?
And don't stop
I'd be
there.
like, I
Keep
don't
going.
know.
He talked about your mama.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I was
crazy.
just like utter manipulation the entire way. That's how it felt to me.
Yeah, I think that guy who was the producer, Richard Dominic, I think was his name.
I think so, yeah.
There was a scene when he said,
if I could kill someone on television, if I can execute them on television, I would execute them on television.
do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That really stood out to me.
All right. I would now like to talk about
Severance on Apple TV, and I know it's your beloved show too, Nichelle.
It is now, which now I have my brother-in-law hooked and trying to get my sister hooked. So it's spread. 3 words.
I'm thrilled to pieces.
Okay.
But my 3 words are fulfilled,
Mm-hmm.
curious, and enlightened.
Mm-hmm. I like those 3 words.
What about you?
Yeah, so I'm feeling intrigued, similar to you with curious. I guess happy and hopeful.
Okay. There's a lot to be hopeful for sure.
I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of start with my lightest one. Devin, Mark's sister. That's her name, right? Yes, it's Devin.
Yes, that is.
I love her. I think she's starting to be my new favorite because she is so skeptical from the get-go. So obviously in this episode, we get to see Mark, his Audi version, wake up at the party, and we know he's shouting she's alive! After he saw his wife's picture, and we know that she is on the severance or on the severed floors. But his Audi just doesn't know, thinks she's dead and passed away in a car accident. I love that Devin couldn't let go that I guess they were trying to figure out what he meant. Like, was she talking about the baby? Because the baby was missing for like, I don't know, a whole 10 minutes at the party.
If that.
Like, that's definitely what what he was talking about. But his sister just couldn't let go of it because he had the picture of his wife in his hand, and she just knows that something's off here, and that they might need to dig a little bit and see what they know about Gemma.
Yeah, so I can't remember Devin's husband's name.
Rickon,
that's right. Yeah, if it was up to Rickon, he clearly was talking about the baby when he said she's alive. Although, like, similar to what maybe Devin was feeling, who thought the baby was dead? Maybe missing, right?
It was a little bit dramatic. Let's start there. Yeah.
And I don't think it was 10 minutes. I literally felt like it was 3 minutes. They opened one door, she wasn't there. Open the next, baby's in, I don't know, the crib or whatever, right? So yeah, you took one of my hot takes, or we had the same one, definitely. That is what made me happy. Because the fact that she couldn't let it go, and she just kept trying to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you had
Even
this
after that
picture.
night.
Yeah. And it kind of piggyback on that. When Milchek came to the sister's house
Mm-hmm.
and was looking for Mar, she went on high alert immediately.
Her intuition game is like on point. It was like a gut instinct almost. That's how I felt.
That's why I know her and I would be friends. Mm-hmm.
Just look at someone and be like, something's not right.
I see your intuition. Yeah. I really like that. She was the one who didn't give up and wanted him to go back inside.
Do you have a hot take?
Do I? I do. So it was interesting to see that Helly had a lot more power than I originally thought. He definitely was what I would say an HBIC.
I wrote down boss.
See?
You know, like she was like in charge of something. Maybe she's not like the head honcho,
Right.
but she's a higher up of some sort.
Right. When her dad was walking up to her and there was this like eerie music, I was like, okay, abusive or like I didn't know what to expect him coming so close into her face. But then he said something, and for me,
Fetid moppet.
that that's exactly what I wrote. I was like, "Feke Muppet."
I had to
Like,
Google it.
what language is that?
It's Olden English or something like that, but it means smelly child. So he's basically like talking
Yeah,
down
like
on her.
this old English, and
Fetid
how
moppet. I'm
and
going
it
to use
is
it.
fete,
Fetid. Fetid.
fetid. Oh, I said fete moppet.
So funny. I had to like rewind it. I was like, what did he say?
I figured you might rewind it, and I said it'll be a kick for me to just go with my first like thought of what he said. It's just like songs when you don't really know the lyrics.
And you make up the words, yeah.
Just make up some stuff. Just seeing her in the boardroom, all in shots.
It was such a different, like, it was a change of pace. You know, we know Helly,
Yes.
the any version, and
Right,
she's
right.
this very just, against the man, not about it. She wants her freedom, and she's very opinionated. And she's very reserved and has a calm demeanor, but also a very powerful feeling presence.
Yep.
She's like making decisions and telling people what to do, and this is where we're going now. This is how we're going to solve it. It was interesting to see. More so now, I think that Helly is not severed when she goes down onto the severed floor. I think it's Helena pretending to be Helly.
So you're just saying she's not severed now.
Yeah, like when she goes down the
She's
elevator,
choosing
she's
not
not
to
going
have
through.
them turn that on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wants to control it.
Yeah. I mean, I think her Audi showed us that she's really drinking the Kool-Aid of Lumen, and she cares about it. She wants it to be successful. Think about it. Helly tried to commit suicide. She was even rubbing her neck in the episode, right? Kind of like, because it was still fresh. It wasn't that long ago that
That's
she did
true.
that. It was probably like a week ago. I don't know. And the way she watched the footage of like her and Mark kissing, and the way she studied it, and there was a part of me that's like, oh, maybe she wants that because her life isn't that free. She's not able to like live that way in her Audi life.
Mm-hmm.
Or is she trying to understand the emotion there and
so that she can
use
mimic it? I also thought about in that scene where she's getting into the elevator, she kind of sighs. I think she puts on her badge. I have this feeling too. Would she subject herself to be severed again because she can't control that person?
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And think of it this way. When Irving made his way down for the first time, he was banging on the elevator door because he was still in that like mode of banging on Bert's door, right? She was on stage telling the audience of this Lumen party or presentation, and he took over and she was saying, it's horrible down there. They're mistreating us. So I would think that that's what she would wake up as when she first returns as her innie, and she didn't. She kind of just like jumped out of the elevator. And I'm just telling you, my gut was her.
Yeah. I go with you on this. I believe you because they would have been suspended where the innie was shut off.
Right, exactly.
This will be interesting.
I just can't let it go.
No, don't let it go because I think you're onto something there.
Do we want to talk about how Milchick's a liar?
Yes, please.
First off, it was not 5 months. It was 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That they were supposedly out there. This newspaper article that was like, oh, you were famous traveling the world. I don't know. AI probably generated that.
Of course, they had
image.
him in a car as if they just won a presidential election or something. Like some parade.
Yeah. They slapped their faces on it, photoshopped, whatever.
That's why he snatched it away so quick, so he didn't look too close.
And Dylan, Irv, and Helly, when he was like, where are they? In episode 1, and that they got moved somewhere else, or that they didn't want to come back. That's what it was. They got fired. And Mark didn't want to go back. He wanted to quit.
Yeah. He was the only one that wanted to quit versus the others.
Yeah. Right. right? And I think me bringing this up brings the question of why did they want Mark back and not the rest? What are your thoughts?
But your question was answered at the end of the show.
Oh, was it?
See, now you're trying to make me tell my other hot take, and I'm trying to talk about yours.
I mean,
okay, but wait a minute. Let me bring this up. Based on what you just said about Milchek, remember when you thought maybe he was severed?
I don't believe that anymore. I was wrong. I'll admit
That's
it.
fine. But we do know that was confirmed.
Yeah,
He is not severed. He is a liar. It wasn't that much time, which definitely makes more sense. And I know last episode when we were talking about this, you wanted to know what happened on the outside, so they answered your prayers there.
Yeah, that's why I'm fulfilled. I got to see everything I was curious about.
Yeah, so because you asked, and we're on Milchek, who was working hard to get Mark back. Another hot take for me was when even Milchek was like, why do you want them back? Or why do you want Mark back? And they said, we need him at least long enough to finish I forgot, I believe it was on the screen.
Cold Harbor.
That's right. That's what was on the screen when we saw his wife. And I was saying, it's probably her location.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. And I couldn't help but think that macro data refinement is maybe messing with her memories, because I think it's specific to him, and that's why they need him. So I really think they're just like messing with her chip, probably.
But because he told his sister that he identified the body, he saw her.
Maybe she wasn't really fully dead, and
I thought about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I did do a little digging, and there's like clips of the next episode that kind of give away a little bit, but I think there's something to look forward to in episode 3.
Okay, look at you. You're like me with Game of Thrones. After the Red Wedding, I was like, I'm not going to be surprised. I cannot be this emotional for this long over a show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read everything, the books behind me. I want to look at whatever is coming next. And I feel like you're similar. And for this one, I kind of want to ride it blind.
Yeah. That's why I'm not going to talk about it. I don't remember that the first episode had the intro. Episode 2
it did.
Yeah, episode 2 did. So I watched it, and I think there were some hints there. And I can't help but point something out. And there was also like reference to Cobell in season 1 of like where she had the shrine, and there was like she was like raised in this world of Kier, and since she was a child,
which they mentioned in the episode.
Right. So that stuck with me. And in the intro, there is a baby that's crawling on the ground. I don't know, but somebody, aside from his sister, may have been pregnant. As I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, maybe I'm like crazy and this makes no sense. But maybe Gemma was pregnant.
Mark's wife.
And there might be a baby down there on the severed floor. And that's why they have to keep her, because she had to like nurse
just take care of the baby. But why take the baby? What is
to raise it in the world of Kier, to like have someone that they've molded since infancy. That's
okay, but then
it
goes back to why them.
I don't know. I'm stumped. You should watch it.
So I'm gonna go back to Game of Thrones again. I think it's Rings of Power. There's a lot of shows. There's another one that's not coming to mind right now, but there's a lot of shows that use that intro to give you carrots to kind of where the show is going, or at least what families or what themes they're going to be touching on. So it's interesting. I'm going to stop pressing skip. Yeah. I just want to get into it. I just don't have the time.
Listen, I'm the first to like click the skip intro, but then I was like, oh wait, it's different. I saw him like in the red outfit, and I was like, okay, hold on, let me watch, because I thought it was going to be the same one, and it wasn't.
Yeah. And I looked down and I was just like, where's my remote? Skip. So I didn't even realize that it was different. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we do know they have her.
Yeah.
What
they
we
definitely
just
do.
don't know. And they need Mark. The reason why they need Mark is to finish whatever's happening with her or the
Her
baby.
case file.
Or her case
Or the
file. Yeah,
baby.
exactly.
Or the baby.
Or her clone.
Yeah. There might be 10 of her. Or we just don't know. That's why they have different haircuts. Oh my gosh.
Who knows? Okay, but let me call out a couple of other things
Go
that
ahead.
were also my hot takes, because I think you've got me thinking there that I'm going to be derailed. So when he saw, I think he knows her as Miss Cobell now, or does he still think of her as Miss Salvig?
I think
His
you're talking about Mark.
Mark, yeah, his outie. I can't
She's
remember.
Miss Cobell now officially.
Okay,
I
that's
think.
what I thought.
Yeah.
When he asked her,
do you know something about Gemma?
and that pause and that look
And they'll scream like a
and the
banshee.
scream, yes.
Yeah. That was actually one of my points. She knows something. There's like no way
Of
that
course.
like it's his wife, right? I know
Right.
we're like playing with the idea of a clone, but like I think it has to be her for them to be keeping him tied to, being severed and wanting him back. And
Well, I will say, I don't think the woman on the screen was a clone. I'm wondering
Miss
if that
Casey.
was Miss Casey. Yeah. But maybe not. Maybe it was just her, and similar to like them, her outside is the testing floor. So it's like she's
yeah.
turned off from the memories of when she was up in the office. And so that's why her face and her demeanor just seemed very different.
Yeah. Yeah, she probably is going through some sort of transition, like when she leaves. Actually, I think she mentioned it in season 1 where she said anytime that she was at work doing the therapy sessions, that's all she remembered. Right?
That's right.
She would like only remember like these like 30 minutes segments. So they're just like back to back. Like that's her,
Right.
like her memory like line. And that's what she's like, that one day that I was with you guys all day, that was like the longest time I was awake. So I think you're like right on the money. I think she's like switching to a different persona. I don't know if it's her own persona.
Can we talk about Bert? Were they lovers maybe and Severance broke them up?
So we know that for those of you watching, we're talking about how Bert was following Irving. And on the outside when they're not supposed to know each other. And my thoughts, so we know Irving's outie is trying to uncover what's going on at Lumen. He's trying to dig into it. He has like papers with other outies or innies names in his apartment. He's painting this dark hallway. He must have other people that he's working with. And my first thought was, okay, he's working with Bert. Bert's outie and Irving's outie somehow connected. It's not impossible. Petey was able to reintegrate in some way. And we know that Irv's showing signs of reintegration with the hallucinations.
Yep.
Maybe they know each other on the outside. And yeah, I don't know. But then I was thinking the other side of, then why is he following him instead of talking to him or, approaching him? And
Right. Just have his light on him while he's in this phone booth.
yeah.
And they don't talk. And who was he calling? And why doesn't he have a phone in his apartment? Like, I've got a lot of questions.
Well, maybe he thinks his phone lines are tapped, so he's using the phone booth. That's what I was thinking. I like to watch TV with subtitles on, and the beauty of subtitles, hot tip, is when you have those scenes where they're like talking into the phone booth and you can't really hear what they're saying, subtitles tell you everything. And he was saying to whoever he was talking on the phone or leaving a message for, my innie got the message.
Ooh, you make me sick because I did not have the subtitles on. Although I did think about putting it on after Fete Moppet.
That's how I knew what it was right away.
Okay. Well, I will
So-
say that when he answered the door when Milchek came, I thought he had this sense about him, like he was more aware. And he was just kind of playing, hey, what's up? And I was thinking, wait, is he not getting severed? Did he know how to turn it back on or do something?
Maybe. He might be the next PD, like to figure out how to reintegrate. I was trying to think of like who he could have been talking to on the phone. Like now that I know that it's like some secret.
Do you think it's the
message
lady
that-
at the school?
Yeah,
Hmm.
because she's still alive, right? She didn't die. No.
Oh yeah,
she's
she
still
killed
alive. Grainer. It could be her.
could be. Or it could be multiple people that just have it in for Lumen. I mean, look at him up. It's not hard to believe that. I cannot end this conversation without going into the guy where they manufactured doors.
Oh yeah, the Dylan twin.
Dylan's twin. Oh
Yeah.
my God, there were so many good lines in that scene.
It could be any kind of door. What would it be? Pocket. Flat finish or eggshell?
Semi-gloss.
That's hot.
When he was saying like, "Oh, we have what kind of competition every Friday?"
Kickball or
Kickball. Yeah, it was kickball. Kickball, which whatever, do you? He was like, "Oh yeah, there's fun prizes," and he made the joke, Dylan G. But door prizes because he's at a door company, and that returned him. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna love that."
No. You just degraded doors down to a door prize.
I hope I find out if Helena is pretending to be Helly downstairs. That's what I really want to know now.
Okay.
What about you?
And I hope that Mark really digs deeper into the death of his wife.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I think the fact that he's going back to work, and he's already in that mode.
He is.
Maybe we haven't seen him like take that, so I think we'll get somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder how he can get a message to his Annie or vice versa.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about what Irving said. I want to know what that meant too. Like, what was this message, and how did he get it across?
Yeah. Oh,
Guess we'll see.
this show. Love it, love it, love it. All right, until next time, my friend. Can't wait till episode 3. Tune into that.
And you make sure you go like us, subscribe, follow us on whatever platform you're watching us on. Make sure you do it. Do it now.